All right, what's going on there, RV Daily Driver? It's been a while since I made a video. Had a lot of crazy things going on. If you can see here, it's super sunny out. So since I made the last video, there's been a lot of changes for me. So I actually had the opportunity with the job I currently work at to go ahead and move anywhere I needed to in the country. So I decided to make a big change and I actually moved down to Dallas. So we're right outside Dallas. That's why you can see the weather is super nice outside. It's around 65 degrees today. So I didn't do any recording of the actual move, but what I did was I left Michigan, packed up my stuff there, had it sent down here to around Dallas. Did about a 2-day trip down here. We drove most of the way down, spent the night around Little Rock, Arkansas, right outside. Kind of just pulled off the side of the road, did a just an overnight spent there, kind of set up some beds for the kids. Worked out really well. But I will tell you, one bad thing that we did have was kind of parked underneath this tree, and it kind of just covered the whole side of the RV with this crazy sap. And I think I'm about 3 bottles in now of that bug and tar remover. It works good, just apply a lot of it, and actually ended up removing that. But after that, got up the next morning, finished the trip down to Dallas, so that was really good. Just been trying to get settled in here. It's been crazy, so kind of lots of crazy rules to get your driver's license here. I made a mistake. I forgot my birth certificate. Actually had to go back, that same day. Really convenient down here, but they actually hooked me up and they gave me that appointment back, and I was actually able to get my driver's license. So I'm set on driver's license. Next thing I gotta get is also I need to work on my license plate. So I've called ahead, and when I called on my license plate, what they were telling me is that you need to check your RV to see if the title contains the weight. So my title doesn't contain the weight. So I'm currently looking now for some kind of CAT scale or something like that to actually weigh the RV, so they can kind of, I guess they put it into some kind of category on what you pay for road tax or something like that, on how much your RV is going to damage the road. So that's my piece right now. I'm working on getting the rest of the paperwork done with that. But I do have a driver's license, which is great. So that hasn't been an issue for sure. So I've seen a lot of people have been subscribing lately, even though I haven't made a video. So what that means to me is probably the RV market is pretty crazy. So I know that already. But I've learned a lot of things also. So when I got down here, because we are in Dallas, and I do have this RV, this is, again, like this channel says, this is my daily driver. So this is the only vehicle I have. And I would tell you, I was a little apprehensive on the move down here. And we had a pretty good discussion with my wife about, is it possible that you have this, RV that's, around 24 foot long? It's the dually. Can you actually operate it, in a big city? And I would tell you, since I've been here November, so far it's been pretty good. I think the first issue I kind of had in that little, butterfly like I talked about before was when I needed to move, not move, but I had to go sign for my house. So when I had to sign for my house, it was actually, they used Chicago Title Company. So I had to go downtown to Chicago Title Company, high-rise area. So actually, obviously, I can't get in the parking deck, but actually worked out okay that I could pull it out front. Had the wife and kids stay in the car. Due to COVID, only one individual can go in at a time. So I threw on the flashers, and I was actually able to stay there around 30 minutes. I did my part, came back outside, got my wife, and she went inside. But that was the first thing I was kind of like, oof, is it going to really work or not? But really, so far over the last couple months, I haven't had a problem. I mean, you need to expect, obviously, that you do have a bigger vehicle, but you're going to have to go out a little bit farther in the parking lot. And the same thing with the expressways. I really like to use the expression of, hey, when you're driving an RV, you're kind of just like that rock in the river. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that they're driving these small cars, but you need to just go ahead and slow down. Don't worry about what's going on behind you. People are not going to be happy you're going slower, but they can go around, man. That's not your gig. That's their thing. You know what I'm saying? They're in that super hurry. But you just keep it slow, definitely in traffic. And you just really increase that distance between you and the person in front of you. And so far, I've really been successful with that. And I think that's really a key piece too, that, it kind of really reduces that stress that you do have, driving the RV. You're kind of in your own little bubble, which we know that's why a lot of people are getting into the RV thing. But, that giving that space for you, I think has really worked out well for me. And I haven't had a problem. I do know that I don't currently have a toll sticker here for Dallas, so I've been kind of just driving on the road. So that's one piece I need to research. I guess you can pay online, but all the actual toll stations down here are closed. You can't pay cash right away. So I'm kind of a little bit nervous that when I go get my actual license plate, that someone's going to be there and say, hey, look, man, you owe us like, $1,000 because we know you ain't been paying that toll. So we'll definitely cross that bridge when we get there. So also along that same lines, I've been driving here, a lot of in and out traffic, and I really started to notice that my brakes have started to squeak. So I'm around about 30,000 miles right now. So I figured some of the research I've done online says, it is time to go ahead and change, your pads. So what I did was I made an appointment with Mercedes, and if you're out there and you're driving a Sprinter, I also got a message in the mail. So go ahead and check. I would just Google or whatever you want to do to see, but I did have a recall. So I believe the recall is there's a power steering pump. There is the ability for the hoses to come off. And when the hoses come off, there's a chance that it could be a fire. So if you're driving, this is a 2019, probably made in 2018. I'm not sure the exact years, but you might want to check, throw your serial number in the, or your VIN number, if you want to call it that. And there's lots of places online to see if you have a recall. But if there is, take it down. I think the recall they checked it over. That was about 5 minutes. But while I was down there, I used that opportunity to say, hey, look, man, my brakes, they're squeaking, and they're squeaking bad. So it was almost becoming the point that, when you roll up to the stop sign or the stoplight, it's kind of embarrassing. Like you're pushing on the brakes and it's that, and it's just crazy. Like people are around you, like looking and like, whoa, dude, what's wrong with that, dude? You probably could take that in. So that's the opportunity I did use. I did take that in. And when I got there, I was like, hey, this is the deal. He's like, okay, yeah, we'll take it out, right? This dude, man, he was probably gone 30 minutes. I saw him take a couple laps around the dealership, and he comes back and he's like, I don't hear nothing. I was like, what? I was like, that's crazy, man, because everybody else hears it. And even on the way over there, I was like, my wife was like, oh my God, the brakes are terrible. I was like, yeah, that's why we're going there too. So I was like, all right, man, I was like, I got to show you. I was like, that's not possible, right? So I rolled outside. And I was like, hey, you want me to drive? He's like, yeah, go ahead, you can drive. I was like, okay, cool, man. So I ended up driving, and the dude was like, all right, go ahead and give it a shot. Driver's seat, I'm like, yep, I'm going to show this dude. Roll around thing, put on the brakes, nothing. I was like, dude, how's that possible? Nothing. He's like, yeah. He's like, I took it around the dealership. You probably saw me a couple of times. I just slammed on the brakes pretty hard. I was like, okay. I was like, and then that kind of, brings out that impression. I think my generation, I remember my dad saying, hey, look, sometimes if you brake kind of soft, your brakes will build up, kind of that little coating and they'll squeak, they kind of just glaze over. I think that's the term he actually used. So he's like, yeah, dude, just run around, hit it up hard. Not an emergency brake, kind of just emergency super stop brake, just kind of a nice hard braking. And he's like, that'll kind of just, take off that, that glazing that's occurred, and they'll actually stop doing that. So hold on a second. Hey, everybody see that light? Obviously, my kids were in here and left that light on. All right, back to what I was saying. So, yeah. So he did that. And after that, man, I couldn't reproduce it. But I would tell you, since I've been there, I have seen that actually happen again. So I've done that kind of hard break. I did back to the kids, hey, everybody, hold on. And we actually just, apply that kind of that hard braking to see that, if it works. And it really has worked. So I think that's, I don't know, that's a little tip you can put in your tool belt out there, just something to think about that before you take it in the dealership. And I would really say that here, compared to when I was in Michigan was really literally a process. And I think the first time I got my vehicle serviced, I think I made a video of that. So you can look at that in the playlist somewhere. But I actually did that in Akron, Ohio, because Michigan was really difficult. So I ended up calling here, and they were like, yeah, come on down, man. We'll get you in any day you want to. So I actually did that the next day. So definitely a change of service than what I'm used to here being in Texas. That's, one great benefit for me, for sure. So, yeah, now that you guys know that, I think that's beneficial. You'll know that, hey, that could be a way forward if you have that. And it'd probably just save you some time to give that a shot. So I think the last piece I want to talk about is I guess I'll call it expectations. So, like I talked before, when I was looking to sell the RV, I really wanted to see, what it's worth. I mean, everybody knows about what I paid for this, how long I've had it. And I think everybody that has an RV kind of just goes in knowing that it's kind of just like, you're just not going to get your money back. I think I've talked many times. It's truly about just that enjoyment of, hey, I have the RV because I like it and I really like what the benefits it give me. And I think that's really been compounded so much because of COVID, because literally you have your own bubble. So if you're out there and you're watching these videos to look to get into an RV and you want that sense of security, I mean, an RV is it. I mean, if you're worried about COVID, I would tell you not. Eventually, I'll make some videos now that we're down here, but I take the kids out, man. We order something, we pick it up, and we come out to the car and we eat it fresh and hot right here in the RV. This RV has enough space with this table, and I've done a video on the table, and you guys all know I hate it. But I will say that if you're still with me, that if you look at the new 2021 Era, one of my favorite pictures is of the back where you store the table at. They've actually changed the table. I'm taking credit that they obviously watched my video and I told them how crappy the table was. So they changed it to a plastic table. So good listen. If you're out there in Winnebago and you're watching this video too, hey, I appreciate it. And that table is way better for sure. So if you need my phone number or my email address, you can have it, and I'll take one of those free tables. It'd be great. And I'll do a review for you. So, but yeah, back to what I was saying. So I went to look at this coach. It's 2019. You guys know the specs. And when people are offering you money, either you're looking for a wholesale consignment or a dealer, they're going to offer you what wholesale is. So last year, when I was looking to change this out, wholesale for this coach is around $86,000. If you owe $86,000 last year before January, you're doing great. You're breaking even on the coach. I talked to a really useful individual down in Florida, and what he said is, if you're looking to sell your coach, and this is good for you guys out there, every year the blue book changes, right? So $86,000 was the value of this coach in before January, right? And he said that was a pretty good price. This coach has actually done a really good job of holding its value, so that's good. He's like, but remember, when January comes out, your coach is now a year older, and also the price of the coach went down. So that price would probably go down to around 82 or 83,000. So it looks like, maybe you're losing $3,000 every year on a good year, probably more on, years that aren't as good. But going back to that, I would just really say that if you're looking to get into the RV lifestyle, just remember that when you buy a coach like this, unless you're paying cash, and even if you are paying cash, it took you a long time to save up that money, you're kind of in this for the long run. You need to look to see if it financially makes sense for you now. I've seen some crazy prices because of demand is bad. I think that at some point the RV dealers are just taking advantage of individuals. I think the last time I looked at the Winnebago Rebel, it was like almost $200,000. I think the last time I looked at the Era was over 150. So I would just caution you to look for those good deals. We know that really there's not enough of them out there. There's not enough Class Bs or probably just RVs in general. I don't really look at RVs in general, but if you're looking to get into it, there's still, the dealers are still marking up the price. I'm telling you, they're going to, they would buy my RV for, a little bit less than 86 or 86 wholesale price. They'll probably throw it on the lot for, 110. But the piece that I don't think a lot of people realize, if you're not a big financial person, is that when I call the bank and say, hey, I want to buy a 2019 Winnebago, they're going to say, absolutely, man, we'd love to give you a loan. But remember, not every bank gives a loan for, motorhome. So that's a problem too. And a lot of them only give a loan to a certain price. I know if you're, associated with the military, Navy Federal Credit Union, they're not a fan. They don't want to give you a loan. So, but anyhow, when you call them and say, hey, I want to buy 2019, they'll say, absolutely, we'll give you a loan for whatever the blue book is, right? $83,000, $86,000. So what that means for you is that rest of that is going to be cash, right? Because you can't get a loan for it. It's just not possible. So just remember that piece, that if you're looking to buy, you're buying the older one, that it's going to be that problem because blue book is just not worth it. You know what I'm saying? So just something to think about. And I would just really, this is Jeremy's, I guess, forecast for the future is that there's a lot of people buying now. They're buying RVs, and there probably weren't people that were buying RVs before, never considered. I get that. You know what I'm saying? You still want to get out and do stuff, but if you were an RV person before and you're just buying it now because of COVID, I believe that 5 years from now, there's going to be a huge influx of used RVs that are really going to hit the market because people are going to find out quickly that, you know, that if you did a lot of stuff before, but you didn't do it via RV or you were flying or doing something different, RV lifestyle is different. And the real answer is that you buy a coach, but it's kind of like a boat. You know what I'm saying? This coach requires tons and tons of maintenance. So it's really going to take a lot of work on your part. And if you're truly just not handy, then I think that's a concern that, you know, warranties just really aren't that great. So I know Winnebago gives you a 1-year warranty. They did a little bit of extension because of COVID. But after that, man, it's kind of like you're really on your own. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, great. Something breaks. You're going to have to fix it. The one good pitch I will say, though, for Winnebago is that everything has a part number on it. So if you open something up, look at it, right? There's actually a part number for it. So when you call the dealer, you can tell them, hey, this is the part I need. So they all have those stickers throughout the code. So that's really great. And they actually keep those parts for a long time. So I would just close this video. I just want to touch base with everybody, let you know that I will, now that I'm settled, I will make some more videos. I think the next video coming up, I do have remember when I went in for the warranty, I wasn't able to get that done actually there in Michigan, but General RV, as much as I like them or don't like them, they were actually super cool and they actually sent me the parts in the mail. So I'll put those on. So probably next video, what I'll do is I'll do the microwave. That's probably like the biggest one. And, I'll talk a couple other things. I've had a couple questions. So if you have some questions, just let me know what they are. I'll try to address those. But I think as people get newer, you know, more and more people are getting new coaches or new coaches to them. I think there's a lot of questions out there. And I don't have all the answers, but I can probably save you a couple hours of research if you just ask a question in the comment below or anywhere, you know what I'm saying? Let me know, and then I'll try to answer those. I think I've caught up on most of them, but, you know, if you have anything, let me know. So, all right. So, take care. I'll talk to you in the next video. Be safe out there. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. That way we can try to grow the channel. And if it's a benefit to you and you've learned something on here, just, you know, hit the subscribe and throw in the like button. So, all right. Hey, everybody, take care now, and I'll see you in the next video.